Hey friends, welcome back. This is a 15-minute total body stretch. So perfect for after a workout or any day when you have 15 minutes that you want to get some feel-good stretching movement in. We are going to begin in a child's pose. So make toes to touch, knees wide, sit your hips back onto your heels and walk your fingertips forward, keeping your arms fairly active by pressing into your fingertips, guiding your shoulders down and back into their sockets. And just taking a few breaths here as you stretch your hips, release your low back. The tip of your nose can be resting on the mat. Maybe you rock your forehead from side to side here just to, clear out your mind. And with an inhale, we'll come up to a tabletop, so stacking shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. I'm going to ground my left hand underneath my left shoulder. I'm going to extend my right fingertips up towards the ceiling, and I'm going to thread my right arm underneath my left, so coming to rest on the outside of my right shoulder and my right temple. And then I'm going to walk those left fingertips forward or over towards the right, but be sure to guide that left shoulder down into its socket. And then in this position, I'm going to extend my left leg out directly from my left hip. So the sole of my left foot is flat on the mat, and I'm getting a nice deep stretch in the inside of my left inner thigh here. And I'm going to hold this stretch for 5 breaths. If you find that it's too much, you might want to try hooking those left fingertips at your right hip crease, and that might help to open up the left shoulder a little bit more. And you should be feeling a nice stretch in the outer right shoulder as well. Doing your best to keep your hips stacked over that right knee. And then to get out of this pretzel position, we're going to bring our left hand back underneath our left shoulder, give a little press, and then bring that left knee back underneath the left hip. Re-extend the right fingertips up towards the ceiling, feeling that stretch in the right side body. And then go ahead and bring the right hand down. And we're going to do the same thing on the left. So keeping that right palm directly underneath the shoulder, all 5 fingers spread wide. You can bring your left thumb to your left shoulder and then use that to peel the shoulder open. Extend the fingertips up towards the ceiling and then thread the left arm underneath the right, coming to rest on the outside of the left shoulder and the left temple. And notice I sort of like lifted my head and extended it forward to lengthen the spot between the space between my shoulder and my ear. And then I'm going to extend my right leg directly out to the side, planting the entire sole of the foot on the mat as I reach those left fingertips towards my right big toe. And you can walk the right hand over towards the left. Just make sure you keep that shoulder down. Or if it feels better, you can tuck those right fingers at the left hip crease and then spiral that right shoulder and the chest up towards the ceiling. So you should be feeling a nice stretch in the inner right thigh here and the back of the right leg a bit, as well as in your chest. Very pretzel-y. It's okay, it feels good. And then go ahead and bring the right palm back to the mat underneath your shoulder. Give a little press into it as you bring the right knee back down. Re-extend through those left fingertips and come back into a tabletop. We're going to walk our hands out about a handprint distance from where they were. Then you want your elbow to face the eye of your elbow to, you could draw a diagonal line to the top corner, opposite side of your mat. Tuck your toes, draw your hips back towards your heels. Create a lot of length in the side body, a nice little stretch in the bottoms of the feet. And then lift the hips up and back into downward facing dog. You can pedal one foot and then the other. So take a nice deep bend in one knee as you draw the opposite heel towards the earth and then switch it out. Thinking about that upside down V that you've made with your body here, equal weight in the hands and the feet. Scooping the low belly in and up and staying really active in the legs, like Squeezing your quads to lift your knees, hugging your inner thighs in towards one another and spiraling them towards the wall behind you. And then really pressing your palms into the mat like you're going to press it forward and away from you. Think about widening the upper back, drawing the shoulder blades towards the armpits, and then let the back of your neck soften. Let your head hang heavy. And then look forward and step your left foot up behind your hands, and we're going to cross our right foot behind our left, coming into a crossed forward fold here. It's a really nice deep IT band stretch. If you're super tight and you have blocks, you can bring your hands to blocks. Blocks are really nice to help lift the floor a little bit closer to you. And then just let yourself fold. Knees can be as bent as they need to be. And then we're going to plant our palms and step our feet back to downward facing dog. This time we're going to come up onto our tippy toes, drop our heels over towards the left, opening up into that right side body just a little bit more, and then same thing, up through center on the tippy toes, drop the heels over to the right, give an extra press into that left hand, and feel the opening in the outer left leg. Come back to center. This time on an exhale, we're going to step our right foot behind our hands, and we're going to cross our left leg behind our right, coming into that crossed forward fold, really feeling this in my outer left hip. And again, blocks are great here if you're super tight. You just did a really tough workout and you want to bring the floor closer to your hands, you would put your hands on those blocks, but you can bend into your knees as well. Lift the backs of your hips up towards the ceiling. You can even reach back and give them a little lift. And then this time we're simply just going to step the left foot over next to the right, coming into a bit of a halfway lift in this forward fold, and we're just going to begin to pedal. You can bring your hands to your shins. Your feet can be hip width distance apart, or they can be big toes touching with a little space between your heels. I'm going to spider my fingertips onto the mat and just take those little pedals, but make sure that your shoulders aren't hunching up towards your ears, and then see if you can gaze forward towards the horizon of the room, and then find some stillness here. Give your bum a squeeze, tuck your tailbone under, and slowly roll up to stand. And as we come up to stand, take an inhale, draw your shoulders up towards your ears, and as you exhale, loop them down and back into their sockets. And let's just do that 2 more times. Inhale, shoulders up towards ears, and then exhale, drop them down and back into their sockets like you were going to tuck them down into your back pockets. 1 more. And then on your next inhale, bring your arms up overhead, pinkies facing in, thumbs facing back at a diagonal. It just helps to open up our upper back and our chest. You're going to bring your left palm to your right forearm, draw the right thumb back, and you're going to continue pressing into your feet as you stretch up and over towards the left. Chest is spiraling up towards the ceiling. Come back through center. And we're going to switch it out. Right palm finds the left forearm, draw the left thumb back, and with the left thumb back, stretch up and over. You can even use this right hand to extend the left arm, but you want to think about your chest spiraling up towards the ceiling and your hip points facing forward. So my hips aren't spiraling open towards the left. I'm trying my best to keep them facing the front of the room. And then come back up through center, and then we're going to forward fold and come back into 1 more downward facing dog. And you can find stillness in that downward facing dog as you bring your heels closer towards the earth if that feels good. You could take a nice deep bend in your knees, find length in the upper body, and then straighten the legs. And now we're going to walk ourselves through to a seat. We're going to extend our left leg long, and we're going to bring the sole of the right foot to the inside of the left leg. That right knee is bent. And I want you to bend that left knee to start. You're going to turn your torso towards your left toes, and you're going to flex your left toes back towards your chest. Extend the arms up overhead and maintain length in your low back as you lengthen your chest towards your left toes. And maybe you reach for your calf, your shin, that's fine. If you can reach the foot, reach for the foot. Drop that right shoulder in line with the left, and then you can begin to straighten into that right leg as you melt your belly closer towards the thigh. And just take some expansive inhales. Imagine that you're guiding that breath into that left hamstring, that big muscle in the back of the left leg. I can even feel it in my left glute a little bit. And you can stay here, or if you'd like to take a little bit of a side body twist, you're going to bring that left arm to the inside of the left leg. You're going to bring your right thumb to the front of your right shoulder, peel it back so that your chest spirals up towards the ceiling, and then reach those right fingertips up and just begin to reach over in the direction of the left. So opening up these muscles along the back, the low back, the QL muscles on the right side. And then go ahead and come back up. And we're going to bring the sole of the right foot to the outside of the left leg. We're going to sit up nice and straight and tall. And you're just going to hug that right knee gently with the left elbow. And then again, imagine there's a string lifting your chest and your head up towards the ceiling. And then you're going to bring the right hand back behind you. Peel open towards the right. Draw the low belly in. And gently come back to center. We're going to do that on the other side. So extend the right leg this time. Bend the left leg. Sole of the left foot comes to the inside of the right knee. Go ahead and take a bend in that right knee. I want to make sure that our low back is lifted. And sometimes when that leg is straight, we hunch through our low back. And all that's doing is creating extra tension in all these supporting muscles in our low back. So keep your back healthy and happy. Bend the knee. Don't be stubborn. Extend the fingertips up towards the ceiling, pinkies turning in towards one another. Chest towards right toes flex back towards the chest. Lengthen forward like your waist is growing forward out of your hips, like your chest is reaching towards those toes. And then find the foot or the calf or the thigh, anything that feels good. And you should feel a nice deep stretch in the back of this leg. And then you can begin to straighten into the leg if you can keep the lift, if you can keep your chest open. Shoulders looped down and back in their sockets, even as your belly melts towards that right thigh. And then if it feels good, you can soften your neck, draw your chin in towards your chest. Or if you prefer to look forward towards those toes, keep looking forward towards those toes as you flex them back. And you can stay here, or you can take the side body stretch. We're going to bring the right hand to the inside of the right leg. I'm going to bring my left thumb to the front of my left shoulder just to help guide it up, and then open and down and back. Keep that right shoulder down as well. Your ear is lengthening away from your chest. And then that left hand comes up towards the ceiling. So creating a nice stretch in the side muscles in the low back. And I know there are people who can reach over and grab those toes, but I want us to focus more on twisting and peeling open, staying open, rather than dumping down and grabbing the toes. Nope, I want you to think about your chest opening up towards the ceiling. And then your gaze can be out towards the left or up towards that left thumb. And then when you feel even, go ahead and come back up. And we're going to take one more seated forward fold. Bending both knees. Feet can be hip-width distance apart. Find that length in the low back. You can even move the flesh from your tush. Finding those sits bones on the mat. Reach the fingertips up. And as you exhale, fold forward. Coming into a seated forward fold. Again, belly melts towards thighs, chest draws towards toes, toes back towards chest. slow your breathing. And this is our last posture here in this stretch. Thank you for joining me today, friends. When you're ready, go ahead and roll back up. If you're looking for more stretches, I have linked them on a card in my in this video, and then they're also in the description down below. I have some functional movement stretching with mobility and yoga, and then also some post-workout stretches in there that you might enjoy. Until the next time we see each other, take good care of yourself, take good care of the ones that you love, keep moving, and meet me back here as soon as you can. See you soon. Bye.